Hey, it's Joanna Hunter here for another episode of Into the LightWeb podcast, and we're on the Joanna and Skylar series, and we have a juicy question for you. Hey, and a very warm welcome to the Into the LightWeb podcast with me, your hostess, Joanna Hunter, metaphysical teacher, spiritual life and business coach, published author, and the high priestess of the LightWeb, a spiritual technology that will change your life. This is the place to be to talk everything under the LightWeb, from consciousness, relationships, to money, to spiritual business, and everything in between. Let's get into it. Today's question comes from Sue, and she writes this question. Now, this is something that I've been told many times myself. Hi, Joanna and Skylar. I've been told by mediums that I am an old soul. Does this mean I've had many past lives? And if so, what can I do to understand what they were and learn from them? What a juicy question. I love this question. So, yes, indeedy. So when somebody is an old soul, it means that they have definitely been here before. This is not their first time at the rodeo, and that they have incarnated many times. And so the first thing is, it doesn't matter what an outside source tells you. So if a medium or 50 mediums tell you you're an old soul, it has to resonate with you first and foremost. So check in with yourself whether that resonates or not. And I have been told my entire life from childhood that I'm an old soul. And I absolutely 100% recognize and resonates with me that that is the straight up truth. So when we are old souls, we tend to be packing what I call extras. So often it's very common for old souls to have a possession of some of their spiritual gifts, if not tapping into all of their spiritual gifts. So it's very normal for old souls to exhibit things like psychic knowing, mediumship, to exhibit even gifts like telekinesis, pyrokinesis. These sort of things are all part of being an older soul. Telepathy, these are all parts, because what's happening is that as you incarnate on this planet again and again, meaning that you are living multiple different lives and that you've gone through multiple lives, as you are incarnating on this planet in this cycle of karma and creation, and the cycle of creation and destruction in holy union, what is happening in your energy field is that your soul, each time your soul is going through a human experience, your soul is beginning to expand in size and in consciousness, and it's beginning to raise in vibration and consciousness. So every time that soul then gets a new human avatar, the soul is installed into the new human avatar. So the way that works, so let me just kind of really talk about the installation of the soul into a human avatar. So before the human avatar is created, choices are made by the soul. What experiences the soul wants to have, what challenges the soul wants to have in their lives. All of these things are discussed, and they're discussed with a set of guides who are also going to be part of the incarnation. Most people will have one main guide, and then they'll have other guides that will come out in throughout their lifetime and begin to incarnate in different parts of their lives and things like that, and arrive at different stations or different points in the lifetime. You pick things like your parents, you pick the challenges that your parents represent, you pick a lot of the things. And then the agreement is made between all of the souls, and that is what we refer to as soul contracts. And then the human avatar is formed. So the woman gets pregnant, and then as she gets pregnant, you will be able to visit in utero. So this is why some people can have memories from being in utero, being in the uterus. And so they will then go and visit back and forth. The soul isn't fully installed into the human avatar until the cord is actually cut. And the action of cutting the cord on the baby cuts the red cord, which is the life support, any silver cord between soul and human avatars formed in that instant that the cord is cut. That tethers the soul to the human avatar. And then the human avatar will live out their lives and do their thing and all of the stuff. And as that human avatar goes through life and things like that. But the more that the soul has gone through this process again and again and again, the moment that that silver cord is connected between the baby, the human avatar, and the soul, and the two are connected together, the moment that is happening is that there is a download of information into that human avatar. There is a download of massive volumes of information in that instant into that child. And as that information is massively downloaded because of an older soul who has experienced this many, 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 many times, it creates an expansion within the human avatar as well. And therefore, this is why gifts in these old souls will manifest earlier. So a lot of people who are described as old souls will have access to knowledge that is beyond just what the human avatar has learned. They'll be actually drawing and pulling knowledge from past lives. So for me, I was born with a gift of second sight, the gifts of prophecy. I've literally had an awareness of spirit. I've seen colors around everything. I see people's auras with my naked eye, like all day, every day. You would not believe the amount of energy that is buzzing around. Now I understand, and I've been able to kind of switch it down a little bit to the way that it was when I was a child. It was very busy when I was a child, and now I can actually like dampen that energy, so I'm not constantly seeing all the things buzzing around and all the energies moving and undulating as they do. And then when I need to tune into something, I can tune into it very easily and very quickly. But as a child, I had no handle on that. So as you can imagine, you know, childhood is overwhelming as it is anyway, but then starting to, you know, dealing with these sort of extra gifts in order, it makes sense that they belong to older souls. So we can begin to access these through, and my favorite way to accessing is meditation. And meditation does not have to be hard or complicated. It's just simple contemplation. The biggest problem that you will face, or anybody that will face that will begin to develop and tapping into past lives and things, is the human ego. So the human ego will try and convince you it is all in your head. You are making it up. And it'll be like, it's all in your head. You're making this up. Like, you're whack right now. It will have a lot to say about it. And I want you to understand that that is the ego mind, and that you are not the ego mind, and that this is not something that can be intellectually understood sometimes, that this is something that needs to be felt with the heart. And when I started using that rule of thumb of like really, really feeling this, you can begin to start exploring past lives. Another beautiful way of exploring past lives is things like past life regression. And I would be completely remiss if I did not speak about Akashic records. The Akashic records is where every lifetime of everything that your soul has ever been through and encountered is all stored in Akashic records. The Akashic records live in the astral plane. So the way that I like to think of the astral plane is like the sandwich filling. We've got Earth, we've got the astral plane, and we've got the spirit world, and it's kind of like right jammed in the middle. And that astral plane is the connection between heaven and earth. And it is a place that we can visit while in conscious form and while in physical form, and move into the astral plane, and we can explore things like the Akashic records. And something like my Akashic records certification, for instance, I teach my students to take their clients on these incredible journeys. And obviously, as they go through the program, they explore a lot of their past lives. And going through the Akashic Records, one of the beautiful things with Akashic Records is that you can awaken gifts that you didn't know that you had. Like, say for instance, you've had a lifetime where you've had a gift of mediumship for like 3 or 4 different lifetimes. You're like, that's still in you. It's part of your soul now. So it's much easier. You don't have to go through the trauma of like awakening those gifts in this life. You can awaken them instantly by understanding and realizing that you are the soul. And therefore, if it was available to 5 other human avatars, it will be available to your current human avatar should you wish it. And you can begin to tap in and tune into that energy and start channeling that energy, because really at the end of the day, what the human avatar is a channel. It's a channel for a human experience, first and foremost, and then it's a channel for everything else that comes through us. We channel our emotions. We channel our experiences. We are the conduit by which our experiences flow, which is what Skylar teaches. We channel pretty much everything through our human avatars. So we can begin to learn our past lives. One of the things when you are an old soul that you will also notice is that you will find that as you start to explore your past lives, other past lives might start to come and become memories, and they'll come in quite often like fragmented. So you'll like maybe be doing something one day, and then for me, this is how I experience it, is that I'll be doing something one day and then I'll have this sense of deja vu. But then as I kind of like tune into the energy of the deja vu feeling, I will get like a fragment of like a little snippet. It'll look like a little scene playing in my mind's eye, and I'll see myself, but it'll not be me. And I'll see myself doing exactly what I was doing in my current life. Maybe it would be like, washing something or doing something or a conversation, and I'll get this like sense of like, oh, this feels so familiar. And then as I start to tune in, and that's how other lives can begin to be revealed to you. One of the things that I will say, and I've seen this, and I want to issue a little bit of a warning here as well, is that many people get very, very obsessed with their past lives. And it's not the healthiest of things. I think it's a good thing to explore them, and I think it's a really, really good thing to have an awareness, and especially if you have difficulties in relationships in the current lifetime, and maybe a past life might explain the whole thing to you. But for me personally, I think it's really, really important to stay grounded and connected and present in your present moment in your current life. Your present moment in your current life represents the well of your power. The moment that we start going off into past lives and we start going off into all of these things, we have to understand that we're actually going somewhere that has no power, like none. Yes, we can learn from the past. The past is a place of reference. But sometimes in the past, all we find is trauma. We can find a lot of trauma. And I know in many of my past lives have had a lot of trauma. One of the most beautiful lessons that I've learned from that, and one of the points of reference that I can take from the past where there is zero power, the power is contained in my present now moment, is the understanding that of all of the things that have been done to me, and there isn't many lives that I've had where I've died of natural causes. The majority of my lives, I have literally been murdered for my spiritual beliefs, or I've been murdered in some grisly way. But I'm still here. And so one of the biggest lessons that I've really taken with me throughout all of these lifetimes is the futility of violence. That what did it do? Like, I don't know how many times people tried to cancel me and literally erase me off the face of the earth. And here I am, the year is 2023, and I'm still a spiritual teacher, and I'm still doing it. And it hasn't stopped me, and it certainly hasn't put me off. And I'm still teaching spiritual things, and I'm still teaching spiritual wisdom, and I'm still doing all of the things that I've done in literally millennia. And there's a lot of comfort in that for me. There's a lot of comfort in that for me, knowing that this is the path I've been on in millennia, and that I am showing no signs of stopping or ceasing. And you think after the first sort of 4 or 5 murders, you would have been like, maybe the spiritual stuff's not such a good idea. But the thing is that I feel like, in a way, in this lifetime, it has just made me more determined, because this lifetime we are enjoying a level of freedom with our spirituality that is perhaps unprecedented, and that we didn't maybe get to enjoy in our past lives to a certain degree. And in this lifetime, I get to enjoy a beautiful level of freedom to really fully express my spiritual side and my spirituality. But that is only here in this now moment. If I have my head buried in my past lives, trying to squeeze the juice from there, I will miss the juice that is right here, right now. And that's why I always think it's really important to look at the lens, look at past lives, of course, by all means, but understand that your true power lies right here, right now, and that your true gifts lie right here, right now, in this lifetime. And so I hope that that answers your question. And so just to recap, I would start with meditation, looking at Akashic records or having an Akashic record reading. And we can recommend lots of wonderful readers because we have certified them, going through the Akashic record certification. And of course, I can mention the beautiful Read Your Spiritual Resume, which is an incredible recording of a live session that we have that we sell for only $11, where you actually get taken on a soul journey into the Akashic records, and you get to look at your spiritual resume, and you get to look at all the lives that you've had, where you have had spiritual lives, and see gifts that you awaken, gifts that you may have had in past lives, and bringing them to the forefront and bringing them into your now moment again. So we'll pop the link for Read Your Spiritual Resume in the Akashic records below. And I hope that you have enjoyed this episode, and I will catch you later.